everyone, and welcome to another episode of Books of the Month. I'm your host, Dr. O.C. Pringle, and I am so blessed to have our featured guest for this segment, Miss Sibyl Krebs, who is actually the wife of the author of our featured book for this episode, Dream World. That's what it's entitled, A Tale of American Life in the 20th Century, which was written by Sibyl's husband, William Charles Krebs. Welcome, Sibyl.
Thank you.
It is so great to have you here. You are so beautiful. You look wonderful in this blue.
Well, that's my favorite color.
It goes well with your eyes, your beautiful
That's
blue.
why I wore it.
Tell us a little bit about your husband. He's not here today with us because he passed away right before the year of 1997. Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, he was an avid reader. As a child, even when he was out in his buggy, he had to have a book, no toys. And he really read all his sisters. She was 9 years older than him, all her textbooks.
Awesome.
And so he actually was the one that allowed me to start reading.
Really?
Yes.
Really? So he was an avid reader.
Yes.
Okay. And so he wrote Dream World. What was his motivation for writing Dream World?
We had gone to Florida and visited Disney World, or wherever it is down there, and it must have put the bug in his head that was a theme. He would build on it.
Okay.
And so then he started writing, and he planned all the characters meticulously, wrote down their different characterizations, and this was his guide when he was writing the book.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I love the cover. The cover is absolutely gorgeous.
That was custom designed, and it comes up in the book, the story about that scene.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. This is absolutely beautiful. William and Liz and all of these wonderful people who are in the book. Tell us about Dream World. What is it all about?
It's about a young couple. They're both from different states, but they want to go to an out-of-state college. And Elizabeth's mother said she had to go where they knew somebody. So a friend had moved there, so that's where they went to look for the college for Elizabeth.
Okay.
And William wanted to be more independent from his family, and he went with a couple of friends, drove to Florida, but things were such that he departed from them and ended up going and getting a job at Dream World.
Okay.
And then when the list came down, then they later met.
They met at Dream World.
Yes.
Okay. What happened after they met?
Well, they courted for a while. Then there was a breakup, which puzzled Liz, but it only lasted that Bill fooled around with somebody for about a month or less.
Is this Susie? Oh, okay. He fooled around with Susie.
Yes.
Okay.
She was a real lure. But then he had to work to win Liz back.
I can imagine. I can imagine. And so did Liz return?
Oh, in the end, she did.
She did.
Yes.
Okay. And so in the book, you have William, you have Liz, you have Susie. What is the main plot of the book?
It's just the developing of their courtship and the fact that they do get engaged at the end of the book.
They do get engaged.
Yes.
Okay. And so do you believe that the story of Dream World could be a good roadmap, I would say, for individuals who are having problems in their relationship to kind of, I guess, figure out how to work things out?
Yes. And one person that read the book said that everybody that's going to start college should read it and learn the pitfalls.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes.
That's quite interesting. And what year did William write the book?
It was in the 70s.
Wow. And so I can imagine he wrote more than one.
There's 3 more in my computer.
There are 3 more books. Awesome. Awesome. So was the book already published before he passed?
Yes, I was able to announce it at our 50th anniversary that the book was coming out shortly.
50th anniversary.
Yes.
So how long were you married?
About 52 years.
Oh, wow. 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 Congrats to you. That's awesome. That's beautiful within itself.
Yes, it was a perfect union for us.
Beautiful.
Because he didn't like sports, which was fine by me.
I don't like
He
sports
loved
either.
Broadway shows, though.
I love Broadway
Broadway
shows.
So we went to a lot of shows, certainly since we came here.
Okay. Here. What's here?
Oh, Arizona.
To Arizona.
It's Arizona Broadway theaters where we
Okay,
go.
so you currently live in Arizona,
Right.
but I'm noticing a beautiful accent. I love accents from around the world. Yours,
Edinburgh, Scotland.
Scotland, Edinburgh,
Edinburgh.
Burrell.
Barra.
Okay, Scotland.
Yes.
So how old were you when you left Scotland?
I sailed on my 14th birthday.
You sailed
Yes.
on your 14th birthday.
And I had a twin sister on the Media, a small boat. When we got our visas, we only had 4 months to be in this country. And my mother got the last sailing date we could get and be in here on the date that we had to be here, because we had to dispose of our belongings and our residence. But we brought a lot of furniture, but a lot shipped here.
Interesting. How long was that boat ride? Do you remember?
8 days.
8 days.
It was a small liner. There was no swimming pool on it, but it was all first class.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, so you arrived into
New York.
New York. Did you see the Statue of Liberty as you were
No,
coming?
that's what we were reading.
Wow. Okay.
But we
Okay.
heard about it.
You heard about it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that it's an honor to meet you. It's an honor to meet you, and I'm sure you hear a lot of concerning immigrants of coming over in this day and time, and the world is not now what it used to be
Right.
then, and so you all were welcome with open arms
Because my father was a master baker, and they needed master bakers here.
in New York. So
Or
you
in Chicago.
in Chicago. So you arrived into New York, went over to Chicago,
Right.
and eventually ended up living your dream world with William
Yes.
in Arkansas,
No.
in Arizona.
Arizona.
In Arizona.
No, and we were in Oak Park, Illinois
Okay.
for that part.
Okay.
It was after he retired, we moved to Arizona. Quite a few years after he retired.
Okay.
Probably
Okay.
5 or 6 years after he retired.
So do you see any similarities between Dream World and your relationship with your William?
Yes, but of course I didn't have anybody competing with him, which was because God didn't mean it to be that
I
way.
like that. God didn't mean it to happen like that.
Yes,
So it was meant. The two of you were meant to be.
yes.
So you didn't have to worry about any Susies in your relationship. What happened to Susie in the end?
Well, she was discarded by him, by Willie, after about a month.
Okay. And so William and Liz, they ended up getting engaged.
Yes.
Okay.
But not till well into the story.
hmm
And the parents had met each other, and they met the parents, and in the course of their stay.
Okay. So they were living two separate places initially.
Oh yes, they Willie lived with a elderly
Elderly
lady,
lady. hmm
and Liz lived with a couple that were Episcopalians, and they were retired, and they were happy to have her because they liked having young people around.
Awesome. So did they ever end up living in one place together?
No,
Because they weren't married yet.
right?
Of course. Of course. So she was Episcopalian.
Yes,
You are Episcopalian.
yes.
How long have you been in the Episcopal Church?
After I came to this country, it would be after I got married, actually.
Okay.
So about 1965 was when I became officially a member.
So in Scotland, were you
I
are
was a Presbyterian.
Presbyterian, in Scotland. So was William, your William, was he a part of the Episcopal Church before?
Yes.
Was he from Scotland also?
No, he was born in Chicago.
Okay. Okay.
And his mother had come from, was a first child born in this country of Swedish parents.
Wow.
And she didn't want to have to lead the Swedish church, but she chose the Episcopal Church because she wanted to learn it in English.
Okay. Okay. So what about William, your husband, you would want the world to know? Apparently he was a great author because the book is awesome.
I know, it's the first book he ever wrote. But we used to be in charge of programs for church to raise money for Episcopal charities. And I was often the chairman, and Bill got that he was planning all the programs, except the first one, which I planned, because it was British, all British Isles.
Okay.
And I taught a couple of girls to dance the Howlin' Fling. So we
okay.
really had we always had a sing-along, but I chose an American woman to choose the songs because she knew which Scottish, English, Irish, and Welsh songs that the American people knew. Because I knew a lot more than they did.
Of course, of course, of course. So William, what type of guy was William? Your William. What type of guy was he?
He was pretty laid back, kind, and I said to myself before I was married, if he ever stopped smiling, it could only be my fault.
Wow.
He did a lot of
A
smiling.
lot of smiling.
Yes, very happy person, very positive.
And he loved to love because in reality, this is a love story.
Yes.
This is a
And
love
he was a people observer.
Okay.
So that's where he learned a lot from observing people.
Okay. Awesome. So Liz, William, Susie, they're not actual people.
No.
Okay. However, were there any Liz's, I guess he would be the William, in your personal life, but wherein he could have possibly gotten the idea?
Well, he felt I was a little bit like Liz was a little bit like me.
Okay.
In her beliefs.
How so?
Well, she was serious and she didn't fool around.
Okay.
She concentrated on her education.
Okay. Okay. So you weren't a school teacher?
No.
Okay, but you educated within the church?
Yeah, I was in the church. I wasn't able to finish college till after my father-in-law died.
Okay.
And he left part of his estate to me, and the income paid for me to finish my education.
Absolutely beautiful. That's awesome.
So I am an accountant and a CPA with an MBA.
Oh, wow. Okay. Are you still doing that? Are you still working that area?
No, I did for the diocese for about 5 years. I was a volunteer auditor.
Okay.
I was reimbursed for all our pocket expenses. And I did churches that had revenue of less than 200,000. But most of them were less than 100,000 that I did.
Okay. Okay. So you've always been extremely involved.
Yes.
Extremely active.
Yes.
What would you like to see happen with this particular piece of literature, Dream World? What would you like to see happen with this?
Well, men are attracted to this book too. Because a couple from our church that bought it, the husband grabbed it before the wife had a chance.
Really?
And it's true to life, because that's what we wanted it. He wanted it to be. And he was not able to do any work in promoting it, because his memory was slipping a little bit by that time, and he was physically not really able up to it. So now I've started taking on that job.
And you're doing a very fine job of doing that, starting with coming on the Books of the Month show today, letting the world know that this piece of literature is available. How can we find this?
Well, there's going to be a website.
Okay.
It will probably be completed within the next month, because they're probably going to have this interview on the website.
Okay, awesome.
And they will, when it's completed, I have to give them a list of people to email to see the website, to
Okay.
express their opinions, and then after that, it will become public.
Oh wow, you're diligent. You're diligent with this. Well, listen, Sibyl, I congratulate you on what you're doing for your husband's
Thank you.
book, and you're doing an awesome job. Thank you for joining us today. You've been an awesome guest.
Well, thank you so much.
Extremely informative. Thank you all for listening to our interview with Sibyl Krebs. But listen, don't go anywhere. We have another guest coming right after a word from our sponsors. See you back in a moment.